Hey, it's Liam from Base Dated, and I have more movie premises about cinemas. Today I just have four, and I have renumbered them because last episode there was I think a 27A, and there's another A coming up soon, and I just thought just renumber them, you dummy. So I did. So I'm starting with 32 today, and it is just basic action movie pulp nonsense. Theater Hostage, a story of betrayal, loss, blame, healing, and redemption. Isn't that just marketing garbage? So this is like the latest Liam Neeson flick, or maybe a Die Hard, trying to get blame, healing, and redemption. I mean, it's not looking for any awards, and it's not going for the cinema festival circuit. It's just action. It's just popcorn eating, snacking, probably late night at home download kind of movie. If it's popular and it's profitable, there'll be sequels, but they also won't be of any higher caliber. It's just something that's fun to watch, basically. And that's it. Start lighthearted. It stays lighthearted for this one, basically. So 33 is a mysterious owner opens a new type of cinema chain. So a mysterious owner, what could that be? That is probably somebody like Randall Flagg in Stephen King's, lots of Stephen King stories. The proprietor who comes in, the mysterious person who's selling something, but he's probably in the business of your soul, taking a town that's just like fine and just tearing it apart at its weak points, where just, the people's relationships aren't great, but they're also not destructive. And he comes in with ulterior motives, and they're not for profit. So that's what this one is about. A new type of cinema chain. Exactly what that means, I don't know. I left that ambiguous just so that you could have lots of mystery. And just like Stephen King, you do not reveal all the answers. You don't know if this owner is the big guy or just a lackey. Does he take orders or does he give orders? Or both, you're not sure. What's the ultimate motivation behind this enterprise? You may not know about that either. Because what the stories are really about is... Ooh, fire truck. And it's still going, but I'm not starting over again. The real point of these stories is to pick apart the relationships of communities and see where they could go if they start to fall apart. Does the town come together like a Hallmark Christmas movie, or does everybody go psycho like in Stephen King? Fun times. 34. Number 34 is a random patterns in the lobby carpets unintentionally open a gateway to hell. So when you go to the movies, they have very interesting carpet patterns. And it makes sense because they surround a place where there's drinks and snacks and people coming in from outside, tracking stuff everywhere through this area, and it can create messes before you can clean them. And sometimes the stains also don't come out. And you might have to replace sections of carpet, and you don't want to jump out as I'm the section that has been cut out and replaced. So they use very vibrant, busy patterns. Makes sense. But imagine in this lobby there is this island, snack bar, concession area, and all around it there's these patterns, and there are borders of the carpets, and maybe there's like 99% the way there with dark and evil runes, and then someone has to come in and repair a piece of the carpet, and it completes the spell. Nobody's at fault, but the world's gonna end anyway, and I just thought that was fun. What do those carpet patterns mean? You think of what Western logos look like, and what do they might mean in other languages. You have to stretch it a lot, and the mistranslations that can happen between cultures. And what if the carpets spelled something out in some horrible demonic form? Amazing. Number 35 Ghostbusters 2020. Now, this one will take a second. This list I created and posted in 2019. So this is way before the latest Ghostbusters Afterlife, I think it's called, which is a continuation of the story of the 4 Ghostbusters guys. But in 2016, everybody was still talking about, well, in 2019, everybody was still talking about the 2016 release of Ghostbusters that had rebooted with the ladies. And it wasn't all positive, and it wasn't very, welcoming. A lot of ridiculous things have happened in the Ghostbusters story, but a lot of people couldn't handle this. So, Ghostbusters 2020, the ladies are back to take down the spirits of convulsing fanboys of the original film that have taken over a 12-screen cinema and entrapped the helpless aging stars of the 1984 film. So there's lots of commentary in this, and there's a lot of reverse commentary now that time has passed. So when people redo, reboot, retell the stories that you're familiar with before, it could be book-based, it could be films from way back, it could be TV shows. When you say, oh, someone's gonna do another spin on it, that's fine. The originals are there for you to always go back to. You'll always be able to go back to those original Ghostbusters films if that's what you love. And you never have to watch this if you don't want to. You don't have to put this in your collection. This is 2019, and that's what the commentary is here, is that they couldn't handle this. They went, and then now they're ghosts themselves. And the ladies, it doesn't make any sense. But since 2019, we've had lockdown, pandemic, now the streaming services. And what streaming services can do is that they can, if you don't have your Ghostbusters cassette tapes, DVDs, or Blu-ray on a shelf for your guests to see on display, like one big elaborate massive mantelpiece. If you don't have those, limited silver edition with background interviews and how to making movies and all that jazz. If you don't have that in your possession, then these streaming services can just pull those. Maybe it's like Hulu or Netflix that is licensing them from the studio, and the studio goes, you can't have them anymore, and they drop off of the streaming services, and then I don't know who did Ghostbusters, but let's say it was Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers goes, oh, we want to have our own services. That's fine. And Warner Brothers will create its own streaming service, and it'll throw all of its material onto it. And then over time, they'll start to curate it. Maybe they'll gobble up another studio or two, and they'll take this huge catalog and start chopping things out of it. And you as the viewer don't have any control over that anymore. So when we all had bought these and they sat in plastic cases in our homes, we could watch them. If we had the playing tech, if you still had a Blu-ray player, you could watch it all the time. But now that the streaming services control what you can and cannot see, I don't think that they would remove the original Ghostbusters, because that wouldn't make any sense. But suppose it was something that was less popular or maybe more obscure and niche. What if they remove that? You don't have any control over it. You can't download it. You just have a streaming service. What are you going to do? And so the argument, the criticism in 2019 about you can always go back to those originals if you want is no longer true in 2020 or 2023. This is 2023. So I thought that was interesting for me, going back to this number 35 and how the conversation has changed since then. So that's it for today. So thank you for watching. This has been 4 films that are not made. They're not real. And they're about cinemas, because there aren't many movies about cinemas. I can't think of one. So unless it's like The Muppets. I guess The Muppets would count. The Muppet movie? Yeah, I guess that counts. So yeah, we have one. But aside from that, I've got 92 more of them. So thank you for watching. This has been Base Stated. I'll see you next time.